Hello, guys. Welcome to this new edition of Mind Podcast. What a day to be recording this podcast. I mean, for people who have been under a rock for the last 24 hours or 2 months, they would be shocked at what the topic of my podcast is. But all of you, our listeners, our viewers, you know exactly where this is going. This is our post poll analysis, the immediate post poll analysis of Gujarat and Himachal elections. And together with me, joining on this podcast is Mindmakers columnist, analyst, and a Pahadi himself, Rohit Pathania. So
Yeah.
I
Thank
had
you
to
for
add
coming,
that
Aadit.
in because this is truly the only podcast where you will actually get a Gujarati and a Pahadi both discussing Gujarat and
Agree,
Himachal.
agree, agree. I mean, it's
So
rare to see that.
rare to see representation where it actually matters. So
Exactly.
because a lot of people don't know the state, but I have to say, I have to, in all your humility and stuff, that a lot of people, I think most people, except probably for Chanakya and Pradeep Gupta, me included, we all fell short on the numbers we gave to the BJP in Gujarat.
Yeah.
This is a stupendous win. We'll go into the details of the numbers, but 1985, guys, was when Madhav C. Solanki won 149 seats out of 182.
Oh,
This was before I was born, and since I've been born, since I've heard that that number is impossible to breach because that was done in a specific set of circumstances, using the Kham alliance, the Kshatriya
mm,
Harijan Adivasi Muslim (KHAM). Along with that, there was the 1984 Rajiv wave that engulfed the country, where Congress won more than 400 Lok Sabha seats. So that had a cascading effect, and Gujarat does vote quite nationally also, even in state elections a lot. So aisa nahi hai ki Gujarat votes one way in state and one way nationally.
yeah.
Very rarely does it happen. 2004, I think, was the exception there. Um so coming to what happened tomorrow, coming to what happened yesterday. Narendra Modi not only matched what Madhavsi did, he beat the record by a fair distance. And we're going to go into the details of the numbers, not just in terms of seats, but in vote percentages. And that's why this is truly a historic day for Gujarat. I think Mr. Modi took it upon himself essentially to campaign. There are some things that he has done in the campaign that I've never seen him do, even as chief minister. The 50-kilometer road show, and I
Mhm.
think there was a little bit of a fear where what if the BJP voters stayed home, right? So in both the
Mhm.
phases, 10% of the voters, there was 10% less voting than last time. So the fear was that 10% of the Gujaratis stayed home, but turns out it was the non-BJP vote that stayed home.
Mhm.
And as we'll discuss, the numbers. One thing I have understood is the looming threat that Aam Aadmi Party could come and win might have spurred Gujaratis to go out and vote for BJP, because I can tell you a lot of Gujaratis feel, and I'm going to say this in Gujarati and then translate it in Hindi or English, depending, કે BJP, Congress हमने गमती नहीं थी, पर Congress અહીંયા नहीं છે, भाजप, so which means कि we don't like the Congress, but the Congress is from Gujarat, कि उनसे मतलब एमनी जोड़े जे करવું હશે અહીંયા કરીશું, we'll do whatever we have to do with Congress here, but Aam Aadmi Party, they looked at as a force from Delhi.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is
yeah.
there was a very us versus them, and the national media projection and so forth. But without further ado, Rohit, your first thoughts as we go into the numbers, and then I'm gonna show the numbers to everyone.
Adit, as you pointed out, since 1985, we have not seen a mandate like this ever being delivered.
Huh.
One of the very interesting things that I've realized as we see some of the basic numbers is
Hmm.
that um, BJP alone polled more than half of all the votes that were basically polled in Gujarat, and that is a number that is literally impossible to defeat. This is sort of
Exactly.
becoming a kind of a larger trend.
Mhm.
In Uttar Pradesh earlier this year, we saw something very close to this happening as well. In fact, the
Yeah,
next two
absolutely.
parties in Uttar Pradesh's case, we had BSP and Samajwadi Party. In Gujarat's case, we have Aam Aadmi Party and Congress. Even put together, were unable to match the BJP's tally.
Yes. So this is where. So let's go to the seats first before we get into the vote share. This is unbelievable. Look at the BJP, 156 seats out of 182. They're leading in seven. When this is being recorded, so if you're listening to this later, don't be like, "Arey, aisa kyun ye kaun sa result dikha diya?" Because this is being recorded as the last few seats are being
Yeah, yeah,
counted. But
yeah.
you can almost be sure that, I mean, ek do seat upar niche hogi. The
Adit, it's
Congress is
starting to look
17.
like one of those one-day match T20 rather cricket scores where
Ah,
one person scores a century
this is
and
like,
everybody else is like single digits.
this is Joss Butler and the rest of, I
Exactly.
don't know, like whatever other team he's playing. I mean, that type of innings. And, um, and 17 17 seats for the Indian National Congress, 5 seats for
Hmm.
the Aam Aadmi Party, so they have made their debut. Like I always said they would. There were a few seats in Saurashtra and Surat,
Hmm.
and that's the only place where they won, where that I was just seeing that it is going to be impossible, like they are going to win. And people were like, "Arey nahi jeetenge ek bhi seat." So there are 5 seats they've won with 12.9% vote share. Congress has 27.3, but this is the big one, right?
Yeah,
52 with more than 16.7 million votes so far. The BJP is at 52.5%.
yeah,
So
yeah,
and before people say कि a lot of people are like millions में क्यों बोला, मैं नहीं, election commission खुद data millions में देती है.
yeah,
So
exactly.
so that's why.
And I know, and you know what's the interesting part that we saw a lesser turnout than the previous election, as you were telling me earlier.
Mhm. Yeah,
But the
and
fact remains that
the
people who
BJP voter
turned up
showed up
were
and the
very
others
clear
stayed.
about what they wanted.
Correct.
They did not want any other alternative. Even the so-called projection of a third force, as was
Yeah.
being touted by a lot of people in the Delhi media circles, particularly. One of my friends has started saying Noida media because sare Noida mein hi hai film studios.
No, you're right. But look at this. This is what I want to show you guys, right? There
Yeah.
are seats like Amreli. Now, Amreli
Hmm.
is a seat that last time Congress won in 5 out of 5. Paresh Dhanani was essentially the guy running the campaign. From there,
Hmm.
Amreli, BJP wins by 47,000 votes. Now, no one could
That's
actually imagine that
yeah.
BJP would win it from Amreli.
And from what I remember hearing you and others also, Amreli is like used to be a hardcore anti-BJP seats in many ways. It was
Absolutely.
like even a cow standing on the Congress symbol would win there. It was one of those places.
Absolutely. So it was that kind of things. Yes, Amreli voted for BJP in Lok Sabha, but that was because the son of the soil was going and so forth.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and what is to be seen over here also is that the seats that the Congress has won, like Anglav is an example, the margin is
Hmm.
2729. So it's like that they have they have not won. They've not won another seat, which is Asarwa. Again, it's a BJP leaning seat in Ahmedabad. And here is why what I want to show you guys, right? Like when we do constituency wise, and we're going to talk about it in detail. But you have to see the urban dominance of BJP and the way it went. Like the only
Hmm.
seat that Congress was supposedly winning was Surat East because it has a sizable Muslim population.
Yeah,
Even then, the BJP wins this by 52% of the vote. Arvind Chantilal Rana. So it is
that
that
yeah.
is and a lot of people in studios will be like, "अरे AIMIM और आम आदमी पार्टी ने शायद वोट काटा, यहाँ पे तो आपका नहीं था नॉमिनी, but AIMIM one got 1600 seats, right? But
Yeah,
look at the Ahmedabad seats, right? These are the margins. BJP
yeah,
candidates getting 76% votes.
yeah. And
So,
Adit, if you note, from 2017, and this is just
hmm,
based on some surface level numbers that I've seen in the past,
hmm,
it of course urban Gujarat did vote for the BJP and sort of saved its
yeah,
skin that time.
hmm,
But especially the larger Saurashtra region and the North Gujarat region, we had
hmm.
seen the BJP sort of lose face. If
Correct.
and so that kind of momentum coming back towards the BJP, the ability to have
Absolutely.
recovered that in the past 5 years through policy, through outreach, whatever you may say, I
Yeah.
mean, that speaks volumes about the kind of election machinery गुजरात ने बीजेपी को बना दिया है बेसिकली.
Right, and that's what I want to show you about Varacha role, right? We were told that this is a
Hmm.
high profile Alpesh Kathiria, the guy from PAS. He got 41% of the vote. They said that the Congress, might cut or split. Congress got 2% vote, just less than 3,000 votes.
Wow.
That is how
So
badly. So,
basically, Congress has been reduced to insignificance.
so there are two things. Either the Congress cadre was ensuring that their vote went to up, or vice versa or something like that. Otherwise, if you tell me that, in seats like Varacha Road where Congress was number 2, it goes down to 2%, it's unbelievable. But Kishore Kanani get
Hmm.
55% of the votes. So
Yeah,
these are some very critical seats that is happening,
exactly.
that we're giving, and we'll do a data by data analysis. But the reason I am showing you guys, right, Bayard is another big seat where Shankar
Yeah,
Singh Waghela's son was contesting. He got 17% of the vote. That's it. So,
yeah. I mean,
and
even his
yeah,
father's legacy is not
and
able to pull him through here.
no, the Bayard was another interesting, the independent one. So,
Okay.
Congress couldn't even say that Aam Aadmi Party split our vote or something. Congress actually came third. So independent won it by 5,000 votes, and there were a lot of BJP rebels also fighting, and a
Yeah,
couple of them
yeah.
actually have won. So I mean, there are some very interesting seats. I mean, this is, I always talk about, if you want to see the extent of the domination, this is my seat, Ellis Bridge. Look at the
Hmm.
percentage of votes polled for BJP, 81, close to 80.5%. So
This is like they were all voting for the
no, no,
Amit Shah at the Home Ministry, and not even the Amit Shah
no.
Ahmedabad necessarily.
Yeah, but this Amit Shah was the ex-mayor of Ahmedabad, right? Very
Yeah, yeah,
popular as well.
yeah,
But
yeah.
what is surprising is that Congress, even in its worst time, would get about 25 to 30,000 votes in
Yeah,
Alice Beach. Okay, this time the Congress is 14,000, the Aam Aadmi has 9,000. If you add them up, you don't go to 25,000.
exactly, exactly.
and
And
and the margins used to be 78, 80,000 and stuff like that, but this is like close to 1 lakh, 1,05,000 is the margin ultimately.
yeah,
So this is where again, Jamnagar North, right, we were told that it's a close contest. Rivaba Jadeja wins by 50,000 votes. So
yeah,
even if you
exactly
add
the
up,
point. I mean, it just
so I mean, we'll go into details, but ultimately, if I go back to party-wise trends, the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party, the Aam Aadmi, they have done some damage in certain seats of Surat and Saurashtra, but they haven't done the damage that people thought they would. And then we'll come back to that. But I want to get us into analysis, and the first part will be in Gujarat, and I promise you guys, then we'll go to Himachal. So I want to give adequate time to both states and not be like कि गुजरात में बात करते करते हिमाचल में चले गए. And
yeah,
and we will have a detailed discussion. I'm going to have people, we'll have exit polls data, we'll also do the breakup, how the caste wise breakup happened and so forth. But just looking at it, and I'm after, like, I want to talk about the win first, and then we'll do a little bit of a fun exercise. Seats that have rarely or almost never gotten a BJP candidate elected in Gujarat, and this time have flipped over. And I want to show you guys how absolutely insane it is. But Rohit, your perspective as someone who's observing, as someone who's not a Gujarati, right? What do you think of this, right? Does that mean that the BJP is virtually indefeatable in Gujarat?
see, I'll put it this way. Of course, the BJP is a force to reckon with in Gujarat from an outsider's perspective. But what it also tells you is the kind of connect the people have with Narendra Bhai Modi. It's as
Hmm,
simple as that.
hmm,
At some level, probably it became about electing for somebody who has been approved by Narendra Bhai. I mean, that's it sort of becomes very evident when you see that somebody is leading a campaign who I think even within Gujarat, I wouldn't say even outside Gujarat, but even within Gujarat, a lot of people didn't know. Becoming the chief minister out of the blue to an extent,
hmm,
somebody who has a clean record,
hmm,
an unblemished record, somebody who has a policy oriented technocratic record to some extent, and being given the charge of running the state with the
hmm,
full backing of
hmm,
the prime minister,
hmm.
people have reposed faith in the choice and in the belief that इनके ऊपर उनका आशीर्वाद है.
Yeah,
So there's no two ways about it when you see it from an outsider's perspective.
yeah,
Clearly,
absolutely.
this was a vote for Narendra Bhai.
Hmm.
Or even if, I mean, something he said in Himachal actually applies a lot to Gujarat. He said, I don't think you will bother about the candidate either. मुझे पता है सर कमल को वोट देना जाना है. So to an extent, that is, I wouldn't, not to take away anything from the candidates necessarily,
Hmm.
but yes, to an extent, a lot of people are probably looking more at who they want to vote for, keeping a larger picture in mind. And this is sort of mirroring the kind of trends you would see for the Lok Sabha elections.
Absolutely,
26 out of
absolutely.
26. I think if you translated this into Lok Sabha seats, it would be 26
No,
zero
I
4
think
again.
bizarrely enough, if you translate this into Lok Sabha, Congress is winning one. Okay, it's 25-1. So, but again, this is when Mr. Modi is not on the ballot. If
Yeah,
Mr. Modi is
exactly.
on the ballot, BJP, I mean, this is
Yeah,
26
then
out of
it's 26
26
out
is
of
done.
26 straight away.
Yeah, yeah. So
So, I mean,
I mean,
that
not just
speaks.
that. I think this, if this is translated to Lok Sabha in Ahmedabad, Surat, BJP will win by 5 lakh votes. Like certain seats,
Oh
the
yeah.
margins are going to be 5 lakh votes. It is that much of a sweep. Like I want to see
True.
the district by district breakup, but
Mhm.
I think the urban centers, the GUD of the BJP, has voted for BJP almost 75-25 voting percentage wise.
Wow,
So
that's
so
there's
yeah,
actually a very good recovery considering how there was so much talk the last time in the national
yeah, yeah,
media
yeah.
about the
That
urban
so
voters being disenchanted to an
So
extent.
last time Ahmedabad and Surat bailed out the BJP.
Mm.
It was basically those 27 seats that they won there,
Mm.
which swung the election. Otherwise, that was it. मतलब एक पांच
Yeah.
सीट भी ऊपर नीचे हो जाती election खत्म. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but this time, I think what has happened is that it has been a resurgent vote, ki
Hmm.
pro incumbency vote, and I'm going to share some seat datas and stuff over here, which actually shows kind of the perspective of what we are kind of saying, right? So this is I'm going to start with a couple of actually seats that were pure trifecta fight. So Khed Brahma was one
Hmm.
of them, where Tushar
Hmm.
Chaudhary, the son of ex-Congress CM Amar Singh Chaudhary,
Hmm.
tribal leader and stuff, he actually
Uh-huh.
managed to win that seat by 2,000 votes. But if you see, this is a true trifecta where AAP gets
Yeah,
27,
yeah,
BJP gets 31.8 and 32.6, right? So very difficult to call which way the seat will go based on just one trends. But this is where it got shocking, like Dholka, like things like that. Sorry, this is Dhari, but I was going to go to the one below Dholka, where the margins were low last time, and
hmm.
Congress was actually going to give them a challenge. The BJP actually pulled ahead and polled close to 50% vote. Okay,
Yep,
once again the Aam Aadmi Party was just reduced to a 2% player. So there has only been certain seats. So now there is another place, a seat called Dediapada, right?
uh,
Dediapada is one of the few seats where Aam Aadmi Party has actually won, and that is
yeah,
because it's a solid tribal seat, and we
huh.
expected them to win tribal seats. But one has to ask, is this really because of the AAP symbol, or is it because of the tribal vote going to the
Yeah,
candidate,
exactly,
Chaitar Bhai Wasawa?
exactly,
Right. So
exactly.
that is, and people were insulting the intelligence of the Indian voter by saying कि अरे वो तो कट जाएगा, split हो जाएगा. People have voted strategically, right? This is
Yeah.
this is another seat that Congress escaped in the Ahmedabad area, which is Dani Limda. Now Dani Limda has a
Hmm.
sizable Muslim population as well. Traditionally has been a Congress seat,
Hmm.
and AIMIM was also trying to
Yeah,
get a few. AIMIM actually had a Hindu face thing for them. But even when the Aam Aadmi Party takes 23,000 votes, the Congress
yeah,
still comfortably wins.
yeah,
Did those votes come just
yeah,
from
yeah.
Congress, or do they also come some from BJP? I
True.
don't know, but but again, not enough to completely swing the seat, the Congress. But
Yeah.
this one's the shocker. So there is a seat in Ahmedabad called Daryapur, which is in the old
Hmm.
part of Ahmedabad, which is close to 46 to 50% Muslim population, maybe more or
Hmm.
something. And Ghiyasuddin Sheikh has won that seat, sometimes as an independent, sometimes as a Congress. And
Hmm.
this time it was won by BJP candidate Kaushik Jain. He's, as the name suggests, he's a Jain. Right now, I would never in my wildest dreams imagine BJP winning Daryapur, let alone by 5 percentage points. This is
Yeah.
this is an I was on I was leading the debates on the studios where they said, oh, AIMIM must have affected. Boss, look at AIMIM's vote share, 1,771 votes. Again, Aam Aadmi Party 4,000 votes. If
Yeah.
you add up just Kaushik Bhai's vote and the Nota, that is becoming 50%. So you can already see that everything else is less than 50.
It's very interesting you point this out because the other day in the past few days, you must have seen this clip from certain news channel in Delhi,
Yeah,
Noida rather, circulating about Aam Aadmi Party plus Congress becoming a force or something of that sort.
yeah,
Now, these kind of numbers tell you that that is an absolute fallacy. Even in many seats, even if you added up the numbers, you are
yeah,
not seeing that happening at all. You're not seeing
yeah.
a so-called there's something called chemistry, as you say, and there's something called arithmetic. So clearly, arithmetic is
Absolutely.
not equal to chemistry.
It isn't, and then this is, I have to show the high profile seat, so I'm going to Ghatlodia,
Yeah.
and where the CM Bhupendra Patel has got 83% of the vote out of 2.5 lakh
Baap
votes.
re.
He got 2.14 or 2.13 lakh votes. So the BJP, the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party was competing like कि हम लोग कौन 10% से करीब आएगा. I mean, it
Basically,
is.
कौन डिपॉजिट बचा रहा है.
And Ahmedabad mein to I don't think there are people who are saving in Baroda, in Ahmedabad, in Surat.
Hmm.
They are not really doing saving their deposits. So
Yeah.
we were told that Aam Aadmi Party is going to be a factor in Rajkot, right? So again, Rajkot, here this is the only seat where I
Yeah.
think Aam Aadmi Party could have played a spoiler. The only seat, and
Yeah.
and that too, but not by a huge margin, right?
Yeah.
Because it is 30 and 19, and BJP is at
Yeah.
46. So you can't say that 3% vote BJP se nahi gaya hai, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Indranil Rajguru is a Congress guy who had actually flipped to the Aam Aadmi Party and then went back to the
Hmm.
Congress.
Yeah.
Or
It's very interesting because people
Hmm.
tend to, sort of not realize where Aam Aadmi Party, when and where it grows from. And I've said
Yes.
this to many people. Aam
Hmm.
Aadmi Party starts off by actually occupying the third front space that has still existed in certain states
Yeah.
for historical
Absolutely.
reasons, for legacy reasons.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
it started off in Punjab. That's how it started off in Delhi, in fact.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
And
and Gujarat has lost that third party thing for a very long time, except for a few pockets, as we can clearly see.
huh, and so this one, right, Rajkot West, I pulled it up because this is Mr. Rupani's
Yeah,
seat. But they this time, obviously, Mr. Rupani is now, in a national sort of
yeah,
in the national
executive. No, he's there.
establishment,
Yeah,
right? So now they gave it to a very young doctor, Dr. Darshita Shah, who's been a RSS worker. She's a Jain from the Rajkot area, right? She again pulls 67.8%. Okay, we were said that, oh, inexperienced face hai, kya hoga? And I'm like, why, these are all safe seats. Like nothing's
exactly.
going to happen here. But I mean, so this, the reason I'm going through these seats, Sayajiganj is from the Baroda area. So you
Yeah,
have a complete washout in
exactly.
in in central Gujarat, North Gujarat, central Gujarat mein to there is a complete swipe out of the Aam Aadmi Party, and in certain places in Ahmedabad and Baroda, they have Congress and AAP have both lost their deposits. Like,
Hmm.
I have been looking at elections for the last um, I don't know, many years in Gujarat. I stopped counting, and I
Yeah,
have still not seen a huge win like this. It is,
yeah,
they even won all seats in Morbi and stuff. And then, I mean, you have seats like Jasdan where BJP has not done that well. But again, you
yeah,
see, this is a pure trifecta.
yeah, yeah,
Kuwaiti Bhai Bawal, 28, 29, 39. And
yeah,
39 they won. But again, if Aam Aadmi Party is getting 29% of the vote, where is it getting it from? Is it just all
yeah,
Congress votes, or is it BJP and Congress split? So
yeah.
there, there has to be an introspection on this too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, this also has a bearing at a national level that somebody, I mean, even Yogendra Yadav was able to say this so clearly, but it
Hmm,
seems people still don't get it. If you think that you can unite against the BJP and or Mr. Narendra Modi and come up with this Mahagathbandhan Nautanki that keeps
hmm,
coming up every few months in
hmm,
India's political circles, this
hmm.
is a classic case of why it can't work.
Yes,
Gujarat
absolutely.
tells you why it can't work. In fact, if it becomes a bipolar contest, it only favors the BJP even more.
Absolutely. And again, another Chota Udaipur, another trifecta contest. But
Yeah,
look at the difference, right? 20% between what the Aam Aadmi Party got and the
exactly.
BJP got and stuff. So the only places where it was trifecta is parts of Saurashtra, parts of Surat and stuff. And when we get into the details of this, we'll really realize ki what has happened.
Yeah,
Bala Sinor, another Congress stronghold, right?
yeah,
Where Congress would come. BJP got 50.8% of the vote. So they cannot say that Aam Aadmi Party took away the Congress
exactly.
vote. At best, Congress would have come a close second, and not, how close? With 7% of the margin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even if you add up the Aam Aadmi Party numbers here, you can see that the difference is significant.
Significant, significant. So
So it's
these are
not
these
even
are
a question of. where
Correct.
it's coming from now.
Right, and these are another seats which are shocking for Anand, in the Anand area, right, where
Mhm.
Mr. Bharat Singh Solanki's area, who was Madhav Singh Solanki's son.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
there, they are getting absolutely smacked. Kapadvanj, another example. Kapadvanj
Mm.
is a place where Congress generally does well. यहाँ पे तो आम
Yeah,
आदमी party only got 9,000 votes, 8,900 votes, right?
yeah.
But BJP still wins this by 32,000 votes. So I mean, if you talk, the history books will have to be rewritten with this chapter
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Gujarat's history, because look, BJP, the other seats were declared too. So by the time we were recording the podcast, BJP has already got crossed 153.
ये
So
अब तो ये पक्का
officially,
जॉस बटलर वाला इंग्लैंड का स्कोर कार्ड है.
officially the Madhav Solanki number has been breached,
Yeah.
and it has
Wow.
been breached by a fair distance.
That is outstanding to say the least.
Also,
Yeah,
on
I
a
can't even.
funnier note, Congress has been reduced to less than 10% of the assembly. So theoretically, they cannot get a leader of opposition.
So basically, Congress from Gujarat is official now.
Matlab, the route is so bad that this is
Yeah.
officially now that they're done. They're done.
And okay, one thing very interesting that I noted in all of this, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Hmm.
I think in the case of Aam Aadmi Party's contestants, those that have won the MLA seat,
Hmm.
most of them seem to be the case of an individual probably being more important than the party.
Not most, I would say all, probably, if
Yeah, I
not
mean, at least, I mean, I would say 2/3 of the 8 or 7, whatever that number is.
five. They won five.
Five,
So
yeah.
out of
So
those,
I think
but
nearly all of
because
them would
so
be
what
like
happened
people who
was
already
Congress
had some
party.
footprint
Huh,
in the electorally some
correct.
footprint, and then they
They're only
basically
given
ride
seats
rode.
to those people in certain areas कि जिनका खुद का 15% वोट था in those
Yeah,
areas. So
because I think
then what
Isudan
they did was
Gadvi
that
didn't win, right?
yeah, so their whole thing was कि even if they pull their own weight, they at least kuch, we can say that something they'll got like
Yeah.
another, I mean, seat. They had a person called Kalpesh Patel
Hmm.
in a seat called Vejalpur, right, in
Yeah.
Ahmedabad. So last time Congress actually had a giant face, Mihir Shah in Vejalpur, who got
Hmm.
very close to the BJP number by about 20,000 votes or something.
Hmm.
This time BJP had an old BJP hand, Amit Thakur. So he wins the seat by 60,000 votes, right? So even if you add the BJP and Congress, BJP and Aam Aadmi Party, the
They're still
BJP
not there.
still wins by 35, 40,000 votes.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I mean, he is getting 56% of the vote. What one place which was a little shocking for me, I mean, it was kind of expected, was Aam Aadmi Party winning Viswadar. So Viswadar
Hmm.
was the old seat of Keshubhai Patel. Okay,
Okay,
it's a
okay.
strong Lewa Patel seat. I think
Get it.
45% Lewa Patel,
Get
and
that.
this was the first election post, and then I think Aam Aadmi Party won it by 5%. It is a Junagadh district. So Junagadh district is the only district where I think the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party have done a little better, and they've
Hmm.
been at par with the BJP. But
Okay.
apart from that, it's a virtual slap, wipeout, whatever
Yeah,
term
yeah.
you want to say.
Yeah, I
For all of
remember
this.
there was this joke when Isudan Gadvi's name was announced as the chief ministerial candidate for Aam Aadmi Party. I don't know who it was. Some very popular Gujarati person's handle who said, "You have Aam Aadmi Party has basically selected a man who has blocked 90% of Gujarati Twitter." That tells you a lot about what the chances were from the very beginning.
Yeah,
I think.
no, so and the caste combinations, like whether it's Aam Aadmi Party got them right, I'm not so sure
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And eventually it came back to the point that they did not have the sufficient number of candidates to even dislodge the Congress. Forget the BJP.
No, yeah, and I'll tell you this, right, that Isudan Gadvi ki baat jo ho rahi thi, right, he was a TV anchor and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Would he have worked in urban Gujarat? I have shouted this from the rooftop for the
Hmm.
Congress. You cannot win an election in Gujarat if you don't campaign, if you don't have a candidate who will not win one seat in Ahmedabad for you.
True. Makes sense.
And
Makes absolute sense.
they're like, "Ke, arey, kaise?" It is because there are a few seats in Ahmedabad which the Congress can win. Bapu Nagar,
Hmm.
Thakkar Bapa Nagar. So not Thakkar Bapa, maybe Bapu Nagar. So those seats that can be won. They are not just all BJP guards, but those are the swing bellwether seats which
Yeah.
if you want to capture power in Gujarat, you have to reduce to BJP to 10 out of 21 in Ahmedabad or something. They won like 17 this time or 18. Like, I mean, they have broken all records. So
Yeah,
this is,
yeah.
I mean, seats like Abdasa, which is like 40% or 30% Muslim population, that's where you are winning. So I mean, this is I think it's a bit of
Just
bit of a
to
wake up
give an
call.
interesting parallel to this, I don't know if you followed the results of the bypolls, Lok Sabha
Hmm,
bypolls in certain seats. So
hmm,
in Rampur,
hmm,
the BJP candidate Ankit Saxena or Amit Saxena
hmm.
has won by a significant margin, and this is a seat that Azam Khan had never lost.
Wow.
So,
So
I
I
mean,
mean, I know
and
Manpuri they were
despite
going
the
to go.
huge Muslim population, despite all kinds of sentimental cards being played by the Samajwadi Party, Congress withdrawing its nomination at the last minute, etc., the
Yeah,
BJP has still managed to wrest that seat away.
and they even won in Bihar actually. So BJP
Yeah,
won
in
one
Bihar
seat in
also they
Bihar.
won a seat. Similar situation in Bihar.
Yeah,
Despite the Mahagathbandhan in Bihar, it has won.
the BJP won, and this is
Yeah.
unbelievable. That I mean, if BJP is winning Rampur, I
Yeah.
mean, I cannot even imagine the kind of insanity.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, the only exception to this earlier was when Jayaprada fought from Rampur.
Yeah,
But Jayaprada's case was a very unique one because it was essentially star power and nothing else that won that election.
yeah, no, and BJP won Rampur. I'm just looking by 24% vote share.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly what has really shocked people.
Yeah,
Nobody would have imagined that to happen.
Akash Saxena beat Mohammad Asim Raja of the Samajwadi Party, and
Yeah.
it is unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, Azam Khan was playing the sentimental card ki ye meri amanat hai and all that time, but it didn't work.
Correct.
People
I
clearly
think
were fed up.
the only state where Congress has a little bit of sort of because despite our like states are Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and Himachal, and we're going to go
Yeah.
towards that in a second. But one thing for me stands out from this is the seats where BJP, we thought that BJP, as Gujaratis, we thought that यहाँ पे तो BJP आ ही नहीं सकता, right? That
Mhm.
has changed. So now what one has to see is, when we do our analysis, are those seats that were always going to be this way, or are they going to change basically their character now and go
Yeah.
towards the BJP? And what BJP has shown is that the core BJP voter, right, the which we assumed was about 44%, this time they've gone up to 46, 47. And one thing which people forget, this was the first election where a generation was voting which had not seen Mr. Modi come to power in 2002, post
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
election with
Yeah.
127. So
Yeah.
now the first time someone born during Modi's time in Gujarat was voting, so they did
Yeah.
not have the baggage of Congress to reflect upon, and even then
Right.
they voted for BJP. So
Yeah.
that is the
So clearly, the BJP has managed to connect even with for these first-time voters. I mean, it's a very good
Mhm,
point that you've raised. That
mhm,
had been something of concern for the BJP, especially in Uttar Pradesh when the
mhm.
result had come out. So the BJP would draw confidence from this, I would say, and
Yes.
in a national sense as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, fascinating day. We'll probably cycle back a little bit to Gujarat before we end, but I want to talk a little bit about now Himachal Pradesh. And we, again, like I said, guys, we'll do multiple podcasts when we have the full data. But एक last minute analysis to dena tha when the
बिल्कुल,
results are there. So,
बिल्कुल.
switching to Himachal, which is the only probably good story for the Congress party in a long time. And अभी देखते हैं कि what Himachal what happened in Himachal, right? So a lot of us were saying Himachal is too close to call, and it lived up to its expectations. So Rohit, if you want to take everyone through the numbers here in
Yeah, I
Himachal.
mean, the first thing that you'll note, and it is absolutely not surprise. I mean, it was kind of surprising for people. Just look at the vote share of the two parties. It's not even 1% difference effectively.
Hmm,
It's just 0.9 percentage points, but the seat translation is significantly different in this case.
yes,
And this happens depending on where the votes have been polled.
yes,
So if you look at especially the seat breakdown,
yes.
The
So it's
pockets where, yeah, if you could just, I'll tell you a few seats, very interesting. If you could pull up the seat statistics
absolutely, absolutely.
and
We'll go to the
yeah, constituency wise,
yeah.
just pull up something called Sujanpur, for instance.
I was going to suggest, so Sujanpur, sorry, not Shahpur, but again Shahpur is one of those seats where actually the margin wasn't that bad for the Congress
Yeah, yeah.
party,
See, the
but
margins in Himachal as a state, the margins tend to be close.
yeah,
But if you, for instance, pull up Sujanpur, and this is the story as it is.
yeah,
Rajinder Rana, who was a former associate of Prem Kumar Dhumal, mind you,
yeah.
who changed his party because he did not get the ticket back in
Mm,
the day,
mhm.
around 2017.
Correct.
In 2017 itself, we saw the impact. And that
Impact.
impact was that Prem Kumar Dhumal lost his seat. And in fact,
Absolutely.
out of the 5 seats in that larger constituency, in the
Yeah.
larger city area, three had gone to the Congress, thanks
Yeah.
to
So
Rajinder Rana.
this is the Hamirpur Lok Sabha seat, which
Yes,
actually
within the
Arora
Hamirpur Lok
is
Sabha seat.
representing right now.
And Hamirpur, the belt basically contributes about 15 to 17 assembly seats.
Yeah. And even the Hamirpur seat, the city seat, right? Here
Yep,
is where Ashish Sharma as an independent wins, because this time there were a lot of
exactly. And by
rebels
the way,
in
Ashish Sharma was getting a ticket from the Congress. He rebelled because at the last minute they switched to a candidate. So effectively, this was going to be a Congress seat irrespective.
Yeah, so this is unbelievable, and Ashish Sharma wins by such a healthy margin. And so
Exactly.
Hamirpur, you would think that it's actually BJPs actually shouldn't do that. Bilaspur is another interesting example, because I kept
Bilaspur,
reading.
uh,
You
Mr.
look at
Nadda's
the margin.
ancestral place, and you look at the numbers and you realize all that's gone wrong in some ways. Even though
Yeah,
the BJP has won, the margin is really like poor.
yes,
Nothing that
and
the BJP would have anticipated.
yes, and look at the amount of independent votes they are pulling. Right, you think that, oh,
Yep,
sirf 2% hai, but when the margins are 0.4%, that 2% seems so
exactly.
much.
Exactly, and that's the case with with a state which has a smaller population. Even in Goa, you see these kind of wild swings happening just
Right.
because of a 1% or a 2% vote being drawn by someone. If you could pull up one particular seat called Fatehpur, and I'll tell you
Yeah,
why it's
I was going to
important.
I was going to suggest that in the Kangra region, BJP
Yeah,
Congress has actually done very very well this time, right?
exactly. And the Kangra Hamirpur belt is where I have been saying this since morning.
Yeah.
The Rajendra Rana effect has taken place. Rajendra
Mhm.
Rana, the man who defeated Prem Kumar Dhumal, basically put in a lot of effort to deliver the entire lower Himachal region to the Congress, and he succeeded. So
So
it's basically the credit of Rajendra Rana, not the Congress party.
in Fatehpur, you have the Bharatiya Janata Party again losing. Since we couldn't get Rakesh Pathania, we have Rohit Pathania on with us today.
Ironically, even the winner is a Pathania, but
Yes, I'm kidding, of course.
yeah,
Yes.
but now here's the fun part.
Yeah.
While the difference is significantly higher because Bhavani Singh's father used to hold the seat traditionally, and after his demise, his son
Mm,
came in after a few years as a contestant.
that's right.
Um, the impact against Rakesh Pathania took place because of what happened with Kirpal Singh Parmar.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Kirpal Singh, if anybody has been following the electoral, campaign cycle news,
Hmm.
Kirpal Singh Parmar is the same person in Himachal who got a telephone call personally from the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Bhai,
That's correct.
asking him, why are you contesting against the official candidate?
This is what I want to see, Rohit, and we'll go over the constituency wise trends, but I want people to see Bhoranj. Look at the margin here, 60
Yeah,
votes, right? Right. You
exactly.
have Bilaspur
Nothing.
again, 276 votes. So it's
Exactly.
these actually truly, but then this is where I mean, you would expect BJP to win, retain Dalhousie and stuff, but again you get to the Dharamsala, another seat that BJP would have expected to win in a normal
Exactly.
election. Now is goes to the Congress, and
Yeah, yeah,
same for Doon,
yeah.
6,000 votes. So I mean, these are your bellwether seats where in a pro BJP wave you would expect them to win those seats.
No, even in one seat called Dehra,
Yes.
the candidate who's won as an independent
Hmm.
is a BJP rep.
Is a Hoshiar Singh, correct?
Hoshiyar
And
Singh, the Chambyal, essentially did not get the ticket. And here is the important part now I want to bring up for anybody who wants to understand what has gone wrong with the BJP.
yeah,
So the factions within BJP the factionalism in Himachal BJP continues to plague the party even now, despite everything being tried to settle the issue.
Hmm.
Anurag Singh Thakur was held responsible for the ouster of Chambyal from the party in
Right.
Dehra.
Hmm. Hmm.
In Bilaspur, where you lose the seats, Nadda Sahab's influence is clearly visible in the ticket distribution.
Hmm.
Kirpal Singh Parmar said that I've been insulted for 15 years by Nadda Sahab in the state.
He said that.
He said that to Prime Minister Modi.
Wow.
On camera, on the phone, he said that. That tells you all that's gone wrong when the cadre, the lower rung cadre who's working hard on the ground, doesn't get respected by the
Hmm.
middle rung leadership.
Hmm.
So it's not even surprising that people and this, when you see that Upper Himachal, Mandi, Chamba, these belts actually have shifted votes.
Completely
They've become
shifted.
BJP seats this time.
Completely.
So this tells you that BJP basically was the state unit,
Hmm.
middle rank leadership was totally disconnected
Hmm.
from the cadre and its sentiments. And
Absolutely.
so people
Absolutely.
decided we'll not even bother to make that effort. In
Right.
fact, what I've been reading from people, so there were a lot of BJP's Jammu unit people
Hmm.
who were also campaigning and
Hmm.
coordinating the elections in Himachal, and
Yeah.
all of them were complaining about the fact that the BJP cadre in the lower Himachal,
Hmm.
cultural affinity and all those things
Hmm.
apart,
Hmm. Hmm.
basically they were absolutely aghast to see that the people were literally responding by walking out
Mhm. Wow.
because there was no interest in supporting those candidates that the BJP was putting up in these belts.
So, so,
The
so I,
damage was realized when you see Mr. Nadda and Mr. Thakur running around door to door campaigning करने के चक्कर में in these areas.
and so this is now it can be. I mean, I know BJP is saying, but look at this, right? Rampur, another seat that you would expect
Yeah,
BJP to want. I want us to go to Rampur, right? You would
yeah,
expect BJP to actually win. Look at the margins, and then look at if they had run a different campaign, I'm pretty
exactly.
sure BJP would have won this seat.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The Congress played a very smart game. Neither Rahul Gandhi turned up in the state, nor Priyanka Gandhi got a very big profile in the state. She was supposed to conduct 4 rallies, that too got reduced to two.
So I have to ask you this. You
Hmm.
have the family of Veerbhadra Singh. His
Yeah,
son Vikramaditya Singh was saying that Priyanka ji आई और उनका impact हुआ, which you would expect them to say things like that. Um, what do you think? What do you think of the that family coming back? I mean, they have retained their bastion of Shimla rural. Do you think the Pratibha Singh is going to be the Congress face, or if they go back to again those old faces, is it going to be curtains for Congress the next time?
so there are two, three competing strands of thought that have been going on in Himachal for a while now.
Yeah.
One is about the generation change that you just mentioned,
Hmm.
not just for the Congress, but even for the BJP side, honestly.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, I mean, somebody like a Mr. Anurag Thakur being brought back into the state and leading the BJP, being in
Right.
charge for the state,
Hmm.
or Vikramaditya Singh basically taking over the mantle
Hmm.
instead of Pratibha Singh in the state.
Hmm.
Because given the fact that he's the successor to Veerbhadra Singh in some ways,
That's
the
right.
problem is that neither of them is that popular within the party either
Hmm.
to really be able to pull that off for now.
Hmm.
The challenge that the Congress now faces is actually quite an interesting one, similar to what you saw in Madhya Pradesh
Hmm.
and Rajasthan also. If they take up the choice of Pratibha Singh or Vikramaditya as the face,
Mhm.
the party can basically kiss the government goodbye in 2 years.
So basically, they made this mistake. Kamal Nath ko
Yeah,
डाला वहाँ पे,
exactly.
and they lost Madhya Pradesh forever, and Rajasthan they're about to, because Sachin
Yeah,
Pilot की जगह Ashok Gehlot को they keep doing, but Ashok Gehlot is a wily campaigner, right?
that's true.
One thing I will give about Gehlot, I'm not a huge fan of his. He knows what his limitations are, और वो
Yeah,
उसी में खेलता रहेगा.
yeah. That's true. And to his credit, Mr. Gehlot has always managed to, keep the flock together, so to speak.
No,
Unlike some of the
his
other
biggest
state leaders.
challenge, and I will give him credit for
Hmm.
this, was keeping the Gujarat Congress together in 2017. Like,
Yeah.
if the Gujarat Congress did better, then because it was essentially Gehlot just running roughshod over
Yeah.
certain Congress MLA. Because Congress ki tendency hai ki there are more leaders than followers in some states. So Gujarat is a classic example where there are
Yeah.
like ki,
Yeah.
हम बदला, बदल देंगे, right? So लेकिन हम बदल देंगे का हम बदला देंगे, बदला लेंगे कब हो जाता है, we don't know. So that is what.
I don't know why, but this story reminds me of the Delhi BJP in so many ways.
Arey,
Sorry.
but this I have to say, no. Delhi, I am no fan of the Delhi BJP, but this is actually a very good week for the Delhi BJP because
Agree?
no one in hell gave them a chance to win more than 100 wards in
Agree?
MCD.
Agree? Agree. I
Matlab,
mean, they really got it. I mean, I would
someone
say they
actually
saved
sent me a
themselves. Yeah.
lovely message that the people in biggest shock after the Delhi media about the Delhi MCD results are Delhi BJP themselves.
True.
Man,
True.
you will not believe. I actually tweeted out कि, 103 seats, and someone from Delhi BJP wrote to me on DM saying अभी तो calm down, अभी confirm नहीं. I'm like, भाई मैं आपकी तारीफ कर रहा हूँ. Why are you telling me to? I was like, मैं कम करता हूँ तारीफ. Why are you telling me?
It's hilarious.
Please शांत रखिए. So they were they were so shocked
Yeah.
कि
Yeah.
ये हो
True.
क्या रहा
True.
है. And Delhi elections was a three. I mean, BJP got to 3% of Aam Aadmi Party.
Yeah.
So it was not like it was too far. And matlab, if they actually had campaigned, and I know they're saying कि Aam Aadmi Party said कि अरे leaders were coming. No, they just actually were doing functional campaigning for the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
few
Yeah.
seats and stuff. And quite frankly, I love that they involved a few of the cabinet ministers there. But some of the cabinet ministers that were campaigning in for Delhi, I don't think would have been able to pull any votes for Delhi, right? Like
Not at all. Not at all.
like for example, I would think Mr. Modi would have said something, but Smriti Irani, who was obviously focused more in Gujarat,
Yeah.
she would be a great vote catcher in Delhi. So typically, if there were
Absolutely.
no Gujarat elections, I think Smriti Irani would be doing multiple
Yeah.
rallies
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Delhi.
And this also, sort of highlighted something that is fundamentally wrong with the Delhi BJP unit today.
Mhm.
And that is the fact that they don't have somebody, a big and important enough face in the party state unit
Mhm.
who sort of knows Delhi like the back of his or her hand.
They basically BJP अभी भी मदन लाल खुराना को ढूंढ रहा है.
Yeah, they've not been, or even Sahib Singh Verma was a untimely death. Was a fantastic man. He knew Delhi like he could tell you literally कि इस block की इस गली में ये खाने को मिलता है. He was
हाँ.
that familiar with Delhi.
Also, I think the Delhi demographics have changed since then,
Agree. See,
right?
that's
So
one thing. Demographics have changed, but some of the areas, when you look at them, they
Hmm.
still remain the same. For instance,
Yes,
West Delhi still
and
remains
in fact,
Punjabi.
it was the old BJP voter of the 90s that came out and voted for their party this time.
Yeah.
Let's not make any bones about it. जो
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
BJP का 44%, 43%. See, earlier when we talk about the resurgence of BJP, they existed in three major places: Uttar Pradesh,
Yeah.
Gujarat, and Delhi.
Yeah.
Right? And the three results weirdly that came in Uttar Pradesh bipole, Gujarat and Delhi, those
Yeah,
UP में
exactly.
और गुजरात में जो बढ़त हुई थी. But even if they're at their highest point when and let's, before we wrap up in the last 5 minutes, let's talk a little bit about the grand old party of India, the Congress party, right? Matlab, I have covered Gujarat for so long. I've observed Congress. I would say that there is a core 40% Congress vote in Gujarat always. You can say maybe it's about 38%, 35%. But the reason I say 40% is because आप अगर urban Gujarat के Congress की washouts को निकाल दो, जहां उनको 25-30% मिलते थे, rest of the state they have a solid 40-45%
Yeah.
belt. In Saurashtra, they had a 45% vote share last time. Fabulous vote share. They are reduced to less than 27%, less than 27, or just about 27%.
That's what I just. I heard a very like really nice cartoonist, Marathi cartoonist, Bhaut aur Soika karke. He said something really funny in a recent video. He said Rahul Gandhi is not doing Bharat Jodo Yatra, he is doing Akhand Bharat Jodo Yatra. He will bring in Pakistan, he will bring in Bangladesh, he will bring in Nepal also very soon. The way he's going. Because वो election के लिए नहीं कर रहा है. And he also said, see, just one rally of Rahul Gandhi in Gujarat, one day in Gujarat, in that Bharat Jodo Yatra, and see the impact. He literally said that.
Absolutely. No, and the the Bharat Jodo Yatra, matlab, it was actually very funny. Even NDTV was making jokes about it. Nidhi Razdan was saying that in the parallel universe that is Bharat Jodo Yatra, they are still marching through Rajasthan. So Srinivasan
Exactly.
was like, "Acha, let's ask them who won their Rajasthan." Maybe the Rajasthan bipole was because Rahul Gandhi was doing the Bharat Jodo Yatra in Rajasthan right now. I matlab, and they said, "Oh, Karnataka." I mean, for God's sake, if
Hmm.
and people were like, "Arey Rahul kya karta akela?" It's not about Rahul kya karta. The Congress establishment, the Congress
Hmm.
organization was helping this fellow doing nursing a pipe dream, to
Exactly.
appear larger than life. Usko, I don't know,
Yeah.
usko kya banna hai, right? Long ago, Ashok Malik actually said this wonderful thing. Ki Rahul Gandhi wants to. I think he talks like Kejriwal and wants to be a Justin Trudeau or something like that. कि उसको ऐसा
True.
basically बनना है. और he said Rajiv Gandhi and Justin Trudeau. He used one of the analogy. अब तो वो भी नहीं है. He
Yeah.
wants to become Nelson Mandela. Sometimes I feel without
Yeah.
becoming
Yeah. Yeah.
actually Nelson Mandela.
It's the Congress party is in absolute shambles. Even the so-called leadership change that has taken place, everybody has basically laughed at it.
Exactly.
Mallikarjun Kharge का कितना importance even within the Karnataka unit है, forget everywhere else, everybody knows. ठीक है?
Absolutely.
So this whole pretension that we did an election and we selected someone, we elected someone, not selected someone. Sorry,
Yeah.
selection तो चलता रहता है. I'll put it that way.
No, no. And so Rahul Gandhi, actually, I was just checking the vote share of a constituency in Gujarat and stuff. A few core constituencies where Congress would expect. See, this time Congress did not fight Gujarat, right?
Yeah.
And um, it's kind of insulting to Gujaratis also that Congress is like so is like हाँ हमको क्या लड़ना है कुछ नहीं है right and they're like हाँ चलो आपको नहीं लड़ना है ना we'll show you how terribly we can make you feel after this
Exactly.
right so कांग्रेस मतलब दिस इज लाइक सेइंग कि एक बंदा जो सूट तो पहनता नहीं शर्ट पैंट पहन के बाहर है वो भी फाड़ दिया लाइक इट इज दैट
Exactly.
बैड राइट द
In
एम्परर
fact,
लिटरली हैज नो
yeah,
क्लोथ्स
yeah, yeah. There's this thing that's been discussed now as to what is the exact purpose of this so-called Bharat Jodo Yatra, and I, I have thought a lot about it, and it just sometimes keep comes back to my mind. You look at the states where he's spending considerable amount of time right now. None of them have had elections in the immediate like 6 month period,
करेक्ट
right? But those are the only states where, if you notice carefully, Congress had some chance
या
or some fighting presence still
करेक्ट
available. Now, is this basically an effort to remain number two in Indian politics? If
इट
so,
इज
bolo na khulke. I
No,
mean,
no,
that's
not
the
even
point.
that. It's not even an effort to remain number two. It's an effort to remain a left wing ideologue and not
Yeah,
a serious politician. See, don't give me this rubbish. People that say that, oh, he's beyond this and beyond politics and all. If he's beyond politics, stop fighting elections.
ना वो संत बन जाओ जाके फिर ये सब क्या कर
हाँ,
रहे हो?
संत बन जाओ राइट अगर आपको इलेक्शन लड़ना भी है और ये करना है
हाँ,
तो आई से दिस एज समवन हु इज डीपली कंसर्न्ड about India having an opposition, right?
yeah,
Because as much as I have supported Mr. Modi in the past, and I do like where he's taking India, there are certain issues where I would want the opposition to take them on,
of
and
course, of
and
course.
there is no opposition right now in India.
See, I'll tell you something, and a lot of people don't like when I say this.
Yeah.
Even Arvind Kejriwal, I'm no fan of Kejriwal, but at least even he's realizing in which direction the Indian polity is going today.
Yes.
बंदा खुद बोल रहा है ऑन कैमरा, अगर मैं हिंदू होके हिंदुत्व नहीं करूंगा तो और कौन करेगा? कैन यू इमेजिन हाउ मच द ओवरटन विंडो शिफ्टेड? एंड हियर इज राहुल गांधी
Yeah.
हु सेइंग कि जय श्री राम और जय सिया राम में पॉलिटिक्स हो रही है.
But he tries to say that he's a serious politician and he's sounding like an NDTV journalist. And what is the point of getting Jogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan in the Yatra and
अरे
God knows
मेधा पाटकर इन गुजरात, आई मीन हाउ स्टूपिड कैन यू गेट? आई डोंट इवन
what.
वांट टू
If
स्टार्ट ऑन दैट.
there is a if there is an ever a slow clap moment, it is getting Medha Patkar. See, people don't understand one major thing about Gujarat. There is only one party that detests Medha Patkar in Gujarat more than the BJP. Do you know which party is that? The Gujarat Party.
कांग्रेस एग्जैक्टली.
मुझे कांग्रेस वाले बोल रहे थे कि दे वर एग्जैस्परेटेड कि
या
इज लाइक ये गुजरात में ना आए वो तो ठीक है हाउ द हेल डू यू मार्च विद मेधा पाटकर व्हेन देयर इज एन इलेक्शन इन गुजरात
नो एग्जैक्टली. आई मीन हाउ bad PR is this? वो कौन सी team है that is advising this man? I want to know that.
And I mean, I don't even need to tell you my disdain for what that woman represents in Sardar Sarovar project when it
Yeah,
comes to the
exactly.
Sardar. Maybe she cares about tribals. And if she talks about tribals who have been displaced, I agree. They should, if they've not gotten their places, the villages that
Compensations
were
are वो तो
promised.
who disputes that? Nobody
No, no,
disputes
no,
that.
no, no. I'm saying, having said that, if you
Huh.
look at 90s May, they were joking, right? And I was one of the persons who actually spoke up against Amir Khan when he sat down on that Rang De Basanti thing. कि
Yeah.
भाई उसको पता ही नहीं है. And at that time, I remember those NDTV debates where Medha Patkar and Amir Khan would be interviewed with celebrity anchors, and they would find one bumpkin from some local BJP unit in Gujarat, and then they would interview. And I don't blame them because उस बेचारे को पता भी नहीं था. And they would ask him, what do you think, how much hydroelectric power will this generate, how much water this, I mean, what are you doing? Have
Exactly.
proper experts, right? But तब UPA की सरकार थी, so even NDTV was essentially a propaganda arm of the UPA government at that
It
time.
was Nehru
So
Dynasty TV.
हाँ, so अब तो खैर एनडीटीवी को भी पता चल गया कि तब हमने कुछ ज्यादा ही भावनाओं में बह गए थे. पर so now
अभी जय जिनेंद्र
what
करने
happened?
का टाइम उधर भी आ गया है.
Correct. But in closure, I think this is a wake up call. Acha, one thing that a lot of people have been writing to me is Samajwadi Party winning one seat in Gujarat. They have not won one seat in Gujarat. They have, but it's not
नहीं,
it's
I
not
know,
a
I know, I
combination
know
of
वो
well.
क्या कहानी होती है. See, that's not about the
Kutiana,
party. That's generally about a symbol given to someone. वो नहीं
no,
होता. वो मुझे
not even a
पता
symbol.
है.
It's just Kutiana, this the son of godmother, Kandhal Sarman Jadeja, Kandhal Jadeja.
Oh,
So
okay, okay, okay,
Santokben
okay, okay,
Jadeja,
okay.
the godmother, जिसके ऊपर movie बनी
हाँ, हाँ,
थी,
हाँ, 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 हाँ,
her
हाँ, हाँ.
son wins on whatever ticket he's on. So last time in his seat, Asharat Pawar wave had gone because वो NCP से खड़ा था. इस बार
Yeah.
वो अच्छा. Oh, there is another thing. Congress actually fought these elections in alliance with NCP,
हाँ,
and
वो.
there is this that brings me to this one seat where generally the Congress and NCP had always one called Umret, right?
Hmm.
And Umret, they lost by 40,000 votes, 35,000 votes this time. They always won. Matlab, NCP had won it by itself. So NCP would win and Congress would also stand, or Congress को भी 20,000 vote मिलते थे and NCP would still win. This time they
Wow.
merged their votes and BJP got 95,000 votes. So this is I'm telling you, I would say Umrate, I would obviously put in BJP's thing, but this time BJP got 51% votes in Umrate.
बाप रे.
And Aam
Goes
Aadmi
back to the
Party
same point,
already
na.
got
Arithmetics is
as
not
many votes
chemistry.
as none of the above in Umrate.
Yeah, yeah. No, it goes back to that same point as I said. Maths is not chemistry. You cannot just add up people and win elections. अगर आपका ग्राउंड पे कार्डर नहीं कोऑर्डिनेट कर पा रहा है, see, this is the mistake people don't realize happened in 2019 in Uttar Pradesh also. People thought आज SP आ गई, सपा आ गई, बसपा आ गई, they will be magic now. BJP will be defeated like anything. Arey Baba, people don't even realize the core supporters of Sapa and the core supporters of Baspa are mortal enemies literally inside Uttar Pradesh.
Yes.
So
And
how do you expect the two to work together?
and then there is the caste complex, right? The Samajwadi
Exactly.
Party and the BSP की, okay, and Gujarat में भी वो बहुत common है. So
Exactly.
this time BJP actually gave seats to the Patels, no doubt, but this time it literally moved beyond as well. So you had a lot of Brahmin faces, a lot of Jain faces, a lot of Rajput, Thakor faces. The
Yeah.
Thakors have generally not voted for BJP. They've generally been a Congress. So this time they have swung, right? So you have some very very interesting. I was telling them, I think if I'm not mistaken, there are 5 or 6 Jains that were elected to the Vidhan Sabha this time, which has been a highest number for a long time.
No, it's
So
actually very good, and I also like the fact that so many Jains are now getting, because this also breaks that whole nonsense theory कि भैया सिर्फ one community is a minority in this country. I mean, I'm
yeah,
really fed up of that नौटंकी. तो
no,
अब ये minority नहीं जीत रही. And that's
No,
what I want to
and a
point out
lot
to
of people
people.
were surprised. They were telling me, "It's like, how do you know they're?" I was like, "Sometimes I know because actually I've seen them in my temples and stuff."
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
so it's not like they were campaigning. Is that they'll come and
Huh.
I'll see them do a tika. I was like, "Acha, I did not know." So they were not contesting this elections as Jains, or Brahmins were not contesting. कि हम लोग we are representing of the Brahmin vote here or something like that, right? So that's why this is, and a
Huh.
lot of the old BJP hands have won. Like, these are
Huh.
people who had not been given a ticket for the last 10 years,
वो
but
भी-
they have been with Gujarat BJP. So now I'm curious to see what the cabinet will be, because I think they were
One very
only
good
given.
thing that the BJP did, and I don't know if you would agree with this or not, and maybe you can also shed more light on it.
Hmm.
Those who were being seen by the people as absolute non-performers, सबका पत्ता काटा.
Yeah,
Especially even if it was even that person was a minister in the cabinet before Bhupendra Patel ji. सबका
absolutely.
पत्ता काटा, सबको साइड करो. We will not
और
give tickets to these people
और
anymore.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि इस बार भी कैबिनेट में there'll be a lot of surprises. I don't think you're going to see many repeat faces.
Yeah, yeah.
People, Gujarat ministers can promote however much ever they want, but ultimately Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah have already decided who's
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
and who's staying.
Yeah,
So
Adit, I think you would agree with this. And Gujarat really needs a generational change in politics also. कहीं ना
yeah,
कहीं.
yeah, I
It has
honestly
to come
don't
with the
see.
cabinet.
Yeah, Bhupendra Patel, I find it difficult to see him
No,
lasting all
except
5 years.
so why not? He will probably stay around, but जो cabinet हो, at least
Yeah,
show the intent there.
show the
Because
intent.
Modi ji has said this on many platforms. Your electoral politics has to get in more and more young people. He's been repeating
And
that ad nauseum everywhere now.
there is another thing also. I was joking with someone that BJP would have said कि यार 120 में से सिलेक्शन इजी हो जाता, अब 150 है, so there are more applicants
That's true.
to the
That's
cabinet
true.
seats, and
That's
you can
true.
only have 18 or 20, 18 minutes,
Yeah, वो
15
cap है
plus
ना, वो
30
there's a
ministers
bill
or
ना that
something.
caps the number of ministers.
Exactly. So you can only
There's
have
this
30
act
ministers.
ना.
So अभी देखते हैं क्या होता है. But at least there
Yeah,
there
yeah.
are no independents. But I'll tell you one thing: a lot of the quote unquote people who have migrated from Congress to BJP just for a ticket, they
Yeah.
won't be accommodated so easily also. So
Oh, well,
this is,
नहीं अच्छा है,
yeah,
अच्छा नहीं. I like that. In fact, if you see, there's a parallel to this in Punjab also.
yeah,
Lot of Congresses are joining the BJP. Big numbers.
exactly.
But
So I
not
saw
all of them have been given the same weightage. In
Balram Jhakar's
despite
son
people
joined the
claiming,
BJP.
oh, Sunil Jakhar.
Sunil
Sunil
Jakhar
Jakhar is
joined
in
the
the
BJP.
executive. Captain Amrinder Singh is in the executive. Right.
And Jaiveer
They put
Shergill
in a
actually
lot
joined
of
the
people.
BJP.
Yeah, yeah. Lot of people have been, of course, put in the various state unit positions. But I mean, if they think that it is going to be a cakewalk for them in Punjab, they're in for a very rude surprise. I'll just
No,
put
no.
it
The
that way.
reason why I bring up Jaiveer Shekhil's name also is not going to win seats for you and stuff.
ना ना
But the
जयवीर
reason I bring,
शेगिल वो मुझे तो
नहीं
I
नहीं,
was like
BJP
I was
needs
shocked actually
spokespersons.
when Jayveer Shekhar joined BJP. I'll just
No,
put
no,
it
no.
that way.
Because BJP needs spokespersons. BJP
One
needs media,
spokesperson.
and
I
press
also like the
interface.
fact that he's a young face. I really
And he's
like
a
the fact that he's
lawyer.
very young.
He's a
Yeah,
lawyer. See,
exactly.
BJP right now, BJP has been like shopping around, buying, like basically looking for people, young lawyers also for ASGs, attorney generals and stuff. So if lawyers, because if they are to, a lot of this time we had a lot of problems in
Yeah,
finding the new person to replace Mr. KK Venugopal, right? So, वो कैसे होगा? I
yeah,
don't know.
well,
So
that's
this
true.
is,
That's true.
yeah, and in the post Mr. Jaitley scenario,
Yeah,
we'll have to
yeah.
find
Hey,
someone who does it.
that's very well put, Adit. And I'm just thinking, generally I've noted. I mean, it is recognized in the BJP. We need young faces. ये
Yeah,
तो अब मतलब they've realized it much before the Congress is even now. It's not even woken up to this reality, honestly.
hmm.
They're not even bothering to give tickets. अगर वो उन लोगों को टिकट दे देगा यूथ में भी देता है जिनका कोई चांस ही नहीं है एज ई सॉ इन उत्तर प्रदेश दूर
Yeah,
दूर
yeah.
तक जिनका कोई चांस नहीं है सो
नहीं, मतलब
यू
I
सी दैट
remember in
हैपनिंग
Uttar Pradesh when 2017, I think Sheila Dikshit was nominated initially, as the CM
या
candidate. फिर Congress भी भूल गया when they did the alliance with,
या या या
so Abhay Kumar Dubey and Ravish Kumar did a 40-minute show on how Congress will get Brahmin voters in UP because they had
या
nominated Sheila Dikshit. So I mean, I'm saying they would take advice from people like those
या
and do things like Bharat Jodo Yatra. So it was so funny for them to say that bhai Bharat Jodo has no political connotations and stuff. Then I was like, stop being in politics, man. आप भी NGO खोल दो.
एग्जैक्टली
वायनाड
एग्जैक्टली
में NGO खोल दो. सीट क्यों
या
लड़ते हो?
एग्जैक्टली
So,
Exactly.
but anyways,
Basically, in
uh,
Kerala, you meet anybody in Kerala who follows Kerala politics, they'll tell you, oh, why Kerala में सबसे ज़्यादा time इसीलिए spend किया, he has to save his Wayanad seat. Period. Otherwise, there's no other
Wayanad seat
reason
में तो
behind it.
demographics will ensure that
हाँ,
whoever
वो अलग
is
बात
in
है, but
alliance with
generally
the
means
Muslim
Kerala
League
में they
will
have to
win.
save the party. किसी भी
Huh,
तरह.
exactly. So Congress is in alliance with the Muslim League, so they'll win Wayanad quite easily
Yeah,
till
true,
that happens.
true.
But we have to wrap up here. It's been a fantastic, fabulous discussion. By the time you see, hopefully this will be up. The euphoria has settled down, and we'll go
Yes.
into this numbers. And so hopefully you guys have appreciated what we've done. We'll try to do another one. But Rohit, I really appreciate you joining on a very
अरे
short notice.
pleasure's all mine, Adit. You know I
Yeah.
love talking to you, so मेरे को तो
And
मजा आता है. It's
absolutely,
like we are sitting
we'll
and
be
doing some
writing
bhajan mandali together.
we'll be writing a piece on Gujarat and Himachal each.
Yeah,
I'll be writing on Gujarat. Rohit will be writing on Himachal.
yeah.
This has truly been a fascinating election in all aspects. We'll be back
Hmm.
next week talking more, discussing more. Till then, it's goodbye from us. And our recommendation would be, before go to Election Commission's website and please watch the trends, because truly this has
Yeah,
been a
yeah.
historic day for
True, true,
India.
true, true, true.
Absolutely. Till then, guys, goodbye. Please like, share, subscribe on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all the platforms. We'll be back shortly with more. Thank you for supporting continuously Mind Makers. Thank you.